Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are here in the quicksand in Ul'dah to start the Stormblood part of a samurai quest after our master Musosai died in the Heavensward End. Momozigo, what's up? A dignified visitor. Oh, and in case you can't hear it, I have stuffed nose and my voice is off due to that. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, a woman had come calling on Musosai at the inn. Judging by her appearance, she's a compatriot and a samurai. At the time, I couldn't bring myself to break the news to her, but in hindsight, perhaps it's best that it came from you anyway, seeing as you were Musosai's pupil. The visitor is in front of a quicksand. You recognize her by her dignified air. Yes, as this job was released in Stormblood, they never had any proper ending from between the expansions, and basically we continue right after the end of the Heavensward part. Dignified samurai. Huh? You appear to be a samurai, yet you are not of our land. May I ask who addresses me? I'm Desiree, Master Musosai's pupil. Well, but you should be Master Musosai's pupil. Tell me, where might I find him? He's dead. Is that the way of it? Words cannot well express my sorrow. I had the honor of being acquainted with your master in the past. Permit me to introduce myself. I'm Makoto, of the Sekisugumi. Ours is the peacekeeping force of Kugane, a port city in Hingashi. I journeyed across the seas hoping to meet with Master Musosai, but it seems I must settle for paying my respects. Might I trouble you to show me to his resting place? The Silver Bazaar, you call it? Yes. I'm in your debt. Let us away then. Western Funnel. She's under attack. There's no mistaking your blade work. Indeed, Master Musosai trained you. Forgive me for standing idle as you thought, but I had to make certain that you spoke the truth. Master Musosai seldom took on pupils, you see, but any doubt I may have harbored has been utterly dispelled. Now then, let us continue on. A beautiful ocean view. You will surely be at peace here. As you may know, Master Musosai had one other pupil before you. Ugetsu is his name, and he is wanted in Hingashi for the murder of countless dignitaries in the Bakufu, our nation's government. Though his went the hands that wielded the blade, Master Musosai created the killer, and in the eyes of the law, he was deemed no less responsible. As a samurai, he was expected to commit seppuku in order to atone for the crime, but he refused. As a result, he was branded a craven in Hingashi. But naught could be further from the truth. Master Musosai fled not because he feared death. This I knew in my heart. And beholding your blade work, I know now what it is that he sought to do. He wished to make amends by training a new pupil. Such was the shame he felt. Death was not sufficient atonement. Nay, The only way he might know peace was to begin anew, with a worthy successor who would bring him honor. Know that Ugetsu is no common killer. He's a notorious insurgent who seeks to tear down the status quo. No few samurai sympathize with his cause, and every day more relate to his banner. For a time he remained in hiding, but our operatives report that he has recently resurfaced in Kugane. By all indications, he is poised to strike a heavy blow against the Bakufu. It was for no other purpose but to petition Master Musosai's aid that I journeyed here. Alas, it was not to be. As I came, so too must I return. Alone. My thanks for showing me here. Brief though it was an honor to meet you. Report to Momozigo. You took her to see Musosai. Doubtless he was happy to have a visitor, and one from his homeland besides. So the wayward pupil is up to no good again. It's certainly worrying, but there isn't much outsiders like us can do. We can only hope that Makoto and her comrades will triumph over this Ugetsu. I'll let you return to your business, but pay me a visit from time to time, you hear? It's lonely without your old man around. Continue at level 63. Trials of a Sekisegumi. That's the way. I have a letter for you that arrived at the inn. It's from Makoto, the Hinyan samurai who came all the way here seeking Musosai. Can't imagine what it might be about. Let's find out, shall we? Dear Desiree, I pray this letter finds you well. You received me with kindness when first we met, and I write you in hopes of depending upon your kindness once more. You recall what I told you of Ugetsu and this growing faction of insurgents. Upon my return to Kugane, I was dismayed to find that this influence had spread to alarming proportions. Outbreaks of violence have become a regularity. The men and women of the Sekisegumi struggle to maintain order. Each day we fight, and each day our strength is shown further. The enemy, it shames me to say, completely has our measure. I shall speak plain. We are in desperate need of aid, and I beseech you to lend your katana to our cause. As Master Musosai's last pupil, your skills would help us to turn a rising tide. I know full well that I ask much of you, to journey halfway across the world and involve yourself in a struggle not your own. Yet ask I must, for should the Bakufu fall, the realm will surely be plunged to chaos, and innocent people will be subjected to untold suffering. With all my being, I pray that you will answer our call, and along we shall meet again in Kugane. Sincerely yours, Makoto. Musosai's first and final people pivoted against each other. That's certainly poetry in that, and you can take comfort in the knowledge that you'd be fighting on the side of justice. As Makoto writes though, it is a lot to ask, and the decision is yours to make. But for my unsolicited opinion, I reckon you should do it. For the old man, if for no one else. And that leads us to Kugane. Soft-spoken Sekisegumi. A samurai, yet yours is not a familiar face. Makoto's foreign guest, I take it? My apologies, but she's not in hand to receive you. She's presently leading a mission in Sakazuki, where insurgent leaders are meeting in secret. However, they are late to return. I must confess that I grow worried. I would go and fight for myself, but I cannot well abandon my post. Might I ask you to go in my stead? And the Sekisegumi can just lead a raid on an area that is controlled by the what was her name? The pirates? Another one! Makoto, I think your friend isn't in the best of states. By the Kami, it's really you. I don't know how to thank you, Desiree. We caught wind of a secret insurgent meeting and came here hoping to learn something of our plans. But they were the ones who knew of ours. They were expecting us and had laid a trap. Before we knew what was happening. The Hingans live by a rigid caste system, wherein one's standing in society is inherited rather than earned. My comrade? He hailed from a poor farming village. His family grew scarcely enough to pay their lords his dues, and it was all they could do not to starve. In order to escape the shackles of his birth, he sought a new life in Kugane, a more progressive district where a man may yet rise above his station. He became a samurai in hopes he might one day have the power to bring about change. Change to an irrational system that holds people hostage to their birth. Soldiers as him make up the Sekasugumi, those raised with a plow in hand and not a blade. You find none among us born into a samurai family. Ours is a ragtag band gathered from the lower ranks of society. Yet for our disparate origins, we are patriots all. Ugetsu and his cohorts too claim to be patriots. But in order to bring about their change, they would as soon see our nation razed to the ground. As with any nation, Higashi is not free of problems. Far from it. But should the Bakufu be toppled, the great lords would rise against each other in a bid for power. The realm would be transformed into a battlefield and another age of blood would begin. If we are to prevent this, if we are to protect the peace, Ugetsu must not be allowed to succeed, no matter the cost. Forgive me, now's not the time to hold forth on my passions. I shall bear my comrade back to the barracks. Pray join me there. Our fallen comrade will be given a hero's burial. That the enemy should know our plans. The loss of a comrade pains us, but we are grateful for Makoto's preservation. She has taught me all. As Master Musosai's pupil, your blade would be most welcome in these dire times. Desiree, pray allow me to confirm your intent. By your coming to Kugane, may we take it to mean that you will aid us in our fight? Yes. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Our cause is much bolstered for your blade. Without further ado, I would introduce you to our captain. However, there is one thing I must ask of you. Pray keep the fact that you are Master Musosai's pupil to yourself. It may make a little sense to you, but that you shared a master with a wanted criminal would mark you out for suspicion. That is simply a way of it in our culture. Lieutenant Shiden alone knows the truth and understands, but few are as open-minded as him. It occurs to me I've yet to introduce myself. As Makoto says, I'm Shiden, Lieutenant of the Sekasugumi, and may I apologize for our orders punctured for procedure. When I sent you to find Makoto in my stead, I could not leave my post due to a prior duty, tending to whims of a visiting dignitary. Pressing business, as you'll no doubt appreciate. Now, if we wait for a moment, I shall bring Captain Kongo hither. May I present to you Desiree Kling, who has journeyed from far away Eorzea to aid our cause? Though she is not of our land, I have witnessed her skill at arms firsthand, and have every confidence that she will prove an invaluable ally. Captain? You would have us trust our lives to an outsider? For all we know, she's one of Ugetsu's, or even an Imperial spy. Captain, please. Desiree is a good woman and true. I personally vouch for her identity and shall assume all responsibility for her actions. Should her origin give you cause to doubt, you would do well to doubt us all. The sons and daughters of nameless farmers and laborers, and the kami know what else. Very well. But mark my words, outsider. A single misstep and I will cut you down. Forgive the captain, my friend. He holds himself responsible for all our losses, and we fight a losing battle. In spite of our best efforts, we are no closer to ascertaining Ugetsu's whereabouts, nor do we know the full extent of its operations. And in light of a recent ambush, I fear there's a breach in our security. As if we had not problems enough. His Excellency the Tyro, one of our nation's most powerful men, has chosen this juncture to come to Kugane on an embassy visit. Ugetsu will surely look to wreak further chaos and afford to the Sekisugumi to keep our honored guest hale and whole. We will be out in force providing security, and I pray that we can rely on your blade as well. I too must beg your forgiveness for the captain's outburst. With naught to show for our efforts, he grows ever more irritable. Now then, I must return to my duties. We have no tasks for you at present, but in case of an emergency, pray remain near and with your katana near at hand. Desu, it's terrible! Captain Kongo! He's committed seppuku! What? He wished to atone for his failure to catch Ugetsu and all the casualties we've incurred, so he wrote in the letter we found next to his body. With His Excellency the Tyro soon to arrive in Kugane, all is in chaos. We haven't even had a chance to hold funeral rites. It's all she can do to keep our order functioning. Yet function we must, for the Tyro is likely to be targeted by Ugetsu and his cohorts. As part of a security detail, I'm tasked with patrolling the short pier area. I should be grateful for your extra pair of eyes, Desiree. I'm in your debt. If aught strikes you as suspicious, I ask that you notify me at once. There's nothing out of the ordinary. You catch sight of a quaint charm. There you are. Did you observe aught suspicious? I have found this blood-stained charm. A charm? It is stained with blood. But where have I seen it before? You've seen it before? This belongs to Captain Kongo, there's no mistake. It ever adorned his neck. But how did it come to be at the docks? Did you actually see his body? No, I myself did not see it. Could it be it was but a ruse? Where the captain did not kill himself but rather was slain by insurgents? It's a possibility. Come, Preserve. If that is true, it would mean the enemy walks among us. We must notify Sheeden at once and have him bolster security on the Tyro. To the Fafnarian consulate, Desiree. Conscientious Sekisugumi. If you're after Lieutenant Sheeden, I'm afraid he isn't here. Babyface Sekisugumi. We'll protect the Tyro of our lives. Gruff Sekisugumi. My blade's ready. I dare those insurgent scum to show themselves. Why isn't the lieutenant here? What is he doing? What's he doing? Come now, surely you know of His Excellency the Tyro's predilections? You mean the rumors are true? It is whispered that the Tyro is wont to indulge its voracious appetite for pleasure houses under the guise of official duty. If that is the case, then he will be in Sanjo Hanamashi, and so too will Sheeden. Let us hurry. And there's battle coming. Sheeden, what are you doing? You two, why are you not at the docks? I was given to understand that Tyro is come not on official, but personal business. Aye, that he is, but that's none of our concern. At any rate, I have your area well covered. You may return to your stations. Sheeden, wait. There was no danger here. Why was your katana drawn? You're too clever by half. More's a pity you failed to finish you off on Sakazuki. Your foreign friend was supposed to dive in as well, but we underestimated Musosai's pupil. How could you, Sheeden? The captain was your friend! Let me tell you a tale. I was born in a farming village and grew up in squalor. Our liege lord was a tyrant, one who wrung us peasants for everything we had. None dared to rise up for fear of their lives. My parents, pushed to the brink of survival, mustered the courage to speak out. For their troubles, they were promptly arrested. But it did not end there. Nay, our lord wished to make an example, and so we had them burnt alive before the gathered villagers. Through gritted teeth, I watched my mother and father die, powerless to help. In that moment, I vowed to myself that one day I would change all that is wrong in this world. I took up the katana and trained like a man possessed, and eventually won a place in the Sekisugumi. In the beginning, I was overjoyed. Finally, I could make a difference. But reality couldn't be more different. And along, I came to see the Sekisugumi for what it was. A tool of the powers that be, glorified guardsmen who patrol the streets for petty criminals. Samurai, justice, these things are naught but hollow ideals, and they can change nothing. This I realized in my despair. But then I met Lord Ugetsu, and he awakened me to the truth. That in order to bring about true change, we must bring down the Bakufu. We must tear down the establishment and dig it up from its rotten roots. You're my comrade and I feel your pain, but Ugetsu's path leads only to death and destruction. Countless people would be made to suffer. Ha! No more than we endured in our village. There's no hope for Higashi but to be reborn in the fires of conflict. This is madness! I will not allow a twisted vision to be realized. Then it seems we must cross blades. But are you certain you wish to do so here, when unwitting passerby could come to harm? It wouldn't reflect well upon the Sekisugumi, I know. Let us take this to Matsuba Square. The others are out on security detail, and there'll be no one to disturb us. This is a trap, right? I knew that we needed to be rid of you, but I had not expected to do the deed myself. You are my favorite, Makoto. This gives me no pleasure. And I respected you, Shiden. It's not too late. Join me and swear fealty to Lord Ugetsu. Never. I will fight you to my dying breath. You always have a stubborn streak. This time will be the end of you. To arms! To arms! What's this? We've come to aid you. Kami be praised into Sekisugumi. My friends, we are betrayed with Lieutenant Ugetsu. You arrived just in time. Sir. What's happening? Come now, surely you don't think I was alone. No, this cannot be. These two have uncovered our plan. They are a threat to the cause and cannot be suffered to live. Yes, sir. For the cause! But there should be so many traitors. Please, open your eyes! Tearing down Bakufu will only lead to chaos! Quickly! There this way! That voice, could it be? Forgive me my delay. It took some time to gather those on duty. Captain, you're alive! There are traitors in our midst, the lieutenant among them! Aye, I know. It was he who tried to kill me. But that was Shiden too? Aren't you a tough old bastard? Why, Shiden, I trusted you. To change Higashi, why else? But mule-headed as you are, I don't expect you to understand. The earnest and true Shiden of old is no more. That is all I need to understand. We deal with the traitors. Have care and remember, we are the Sekisugumi, and our blades stand for peace. Come, Ijin, I shall be your opponent. I'm done toying with you. Let's see your true worth. No! How could I lose? Lord Jean has fallen! We must retreat! You not get away! Leave him. We cannot risk endangering the citizens. It's over, Shiden. Over? Nay, Kongo. This is only the beginning. Long live Lord Ugetsu! Farewell, old friend. We meet again in the next life. Captain, thank the Kami you're safe. Will you tell us what happened? I will, but first there's something I must do. Desiree, for your timely intervention I give you my thanks, and for my early discourtesy I beg your forgiveness. All fine. Allow me to thank you also. Were you not on hand, there's no telling what might have come to pass. With me gone, Shiden would have had free reign. He was the last any of us would have suspected. Aye, when he told us that you had committed seppuku, none thought to question it. Ha, convenient lie by the poor one. Any who know me well should know that I would not take my leave ere I had dealt with the insurgents. To do so would be the greater shame by far. Now then, let me recount you my tale. Late at night, Shiden summoned me to the docks to discuss an urgent matter. As I approached him, the wretch slashed out at me without warning. Well, I couldn't react in time to dodge the blade, for blessing had caught my charm, sparing me a fatal wound. My momentum sent me over the docks and into the sea, where I remained until I was safe to the surface. My lungs were ripe to burst when Shiden finally left. Such an ordeal that must have been. Having learned that there were traitors besides Shiden, I kept to the shadows and watched their movements. And the rest you know. With the tie was safe and the traitors dealt with, we may return to the barracks. Let us continue our conversation there. Desiree, my thanks again for your help. To think that Shiden was a traitor, I still struggle to believe it. You journeyed here from a distant land in order to lend your strength to our beleaguered order, yet I drew my blade upon you. As it turned out, it was those whom I thought I knew and trusted that betrayed me. Suffice it to say, I feel a right fool. But now we have succeeded in rooting out all traitors in our ranks. That we have, and from those we caught, we were able to wring out some key details of the operation. Shiden had been seducing our man over to Ugetsu's side. Those who proved unamenable to his advances were killed, like our comrade in recent mission. It makes my blood boil to think that those most loyal among us were struck down by treachery. What of Ugetsu's whereabouts? It appears he makes his base on the mainland somewhere in Yangsha, but the precise location still eludes us. Forgive me if I speak out of turn, Captain, but even as we laid our lives on the line, the Tyro went about satisfying his urges. Can we truly say that we protected the peace this day? Well do I understand your frustration, Makoto. Yet for as many vices, there is no denying the instrumental role the Tyro plays in keeping the realm whole. Ever are the great lords watching for a fracture to form, by which they might break the status quo and usurp power. Through skillful intercession and manipulation, the Tyro keeps each of them in check. It is no secret that the Bakufu is a cesspool of corruption, but in spite of this, we must protect the peace. Such is the samurai's calling. Though you come to us from afar, you share this calling with us. I pray that you can continue relying upon your blade, my Ijin samurai friend. With that, he disappears. Allow me to add my voice to the captain's. You are a stalwart ally to our cause, and a samurai true. Master Musosai was not mistaken in choosing you. Good, but I would end the episode here, and we continue this next time. Until then, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.